Terra Eterna, fantasy character building RPG adventure. A game that combines co-op, map exploration, monster fighting, dice rolling, character building, all into one game. So what are my thoughts on that? Well, stick around for after the how to play, and I will tell you. Alright, here we have the start of a setup for a game of Terra Eterna. This is prototype. Rules are still being tweaked. Some graphic designs may change, what have you. Always check the campaign for any changes and what's going on, which will be linked down below. This will be a very brief, basic, high-level overview. There are a lot of little rules intricacies that will be in the rule book. I just want to give you a sense of the overall feel of the game. So you're going to start by putting 3 tiles around your starting tile. Liberated side, which means face up. Then you're going to put down 10 unliberated tiles going outside of it, such as this. You're going to spawn monsters on each one. Your fields get bronze monsters, forests get silver, deserts get gold. There's 2 per tile, so if it's a forest, you get 2 silver. A field and forest gets 1 of each. You're going to have your monster decks up here. These are your artifacts. You're going to choose if you want to play regular or blitz mode. Blitz mode is 2 rounds. The regular mode is 5 rounds. So you'll choose the side of that. Each person will grab a hero. They'll get dealt a story card. They'll build their decks. Based on what mode you are is how big your deck is. In a basic, it's 5 starters and 3 from a class. In Blitz, it's 5 starters and 5 from a class. The classes you're proficient in are on your hero card. You have your hit points and your stats, your strength, your agility, and your intelligence. You're then going to take those cards, shuffle them up. Then each person's going to get 2 player aids. One has the adventure phase and the battle phase, and one has the adventure FAQ and battle FAQ. You're going to put 20 hit points on the starting city. You're going to have your dice over here in a pool, ready for everyone to grab. So after you have shuffled up your deck, you're going to put that there. And then as a group, you're going to be picking out a scenario, bounty, job, however you want to call it. They are ranked from F to A, with F being the easiest, A being the hardest. So you can start off by looking at like the E's and the F's. You're going to look at them and you're going to choose one. So let's just say, let's grab map drafting. You'll grab it, you'll read the story. You'll have a setup for this round. You can liberate past your usual limits. You're going to flip it over. Objective, you need to have 4 tiles must be liberated this round. No more, no less. Then you're going to pick up cards 3 and 42. So you're going to come over to the story deck, or the event deck, grab 3 and 42. So the cult leader is going to be your boss battle, so you're going to kind of set them aside so everyone remembers who the boss battle is. And then this is your card that will denote what you get if you succeed or fail. So those will just get put off to the side. That'll say what happens during the boss battle. So all of that can just be up there. Off to the side, you'll have various other decks of class cards, starter cards, etc. But that is not relevant to what I'm about to show you. The game starts in the adventure phase. So the first thing everyone's going to do is draw and then play cards from your deck. You'll draw your intelligence score, or if you are on the starting tile or tiles with houses, you will draw 5 cards. You'll look at your hand and see if anyone that says stays in play that you might want to put out. So I think I do. Let's put out my regular sword. So it stays in play, so that's just going to stay there. The rest of these cards you just play in battle. You then can move. Everyone is playing simultaneously, so you can move up to your agility, in this instance 3. You cannot move across any black lines. Monsters can, but you are not allowed to. Typically, unless the objective says other or the task says otherwise, per turn, between everyone, you can liberate up to 2 tiles. The liberated tile, you're going to flip it over and trigger a battle. So you can liberate any tiles adjacent to you. So from here, I can liberate this tile, or this tile. So if I liberated this fields and forest tile, we would flip it over, try and line up our sides the best we can, and we are going to spawn a silver monster, and a bronze monster. This also has this monster icon, which means you take one of the monster dice, roll it, and now we have an additional bronze monster. So now we would enter the battle phase, which is you have the monsters that are going to be attacking. In the battle phase, the monsters will attack first unless you are entering the battle solo. If you're entering solo, you attack, they attack, you attack, battle's over. So, when the monsters attack, you can do it in any order you want. So we'll say we'll start with the warrior goblin. You're going to look at what their attack is. Their attack is 2. You're then going to have to denote who they are fighting. So you are going to roll the 2 attack dice and the targeting die. So they have a 3 attack coming to the person with the most hit points. So say that is me. I now can choose to defend with agility or strength. I am going to choose, they're both 3, so I will take 3 dice. I will see if there's any cards in my hand I wish to play. When you roll for attack or defense, add an extra d4. You may reroll any player's attack. Roll extra 2 defense dice and draw a card. You may reroll any player. So I'm going to be good for now because other stuff might be coming up. So I'm going to roll my 3. So I got 4 to their 3. I actually hit them back. So we're at 6. They're now at 5 hit points. Had this been blank and they came out with a 3, I would have took the 1 damage, so I would have been at 2 hit points. You're going to go down the line, have each monster attacking. When a monster attacks, if they have a target, you can choose to defend in place of that target, but you are no longer able to defend the rest of this battle. However, if they're just attacking you and you just defend, that is fine. So after the monsters have had their go, it is your turn to battle. You are going to first draw a card from your deck. You can put any cards into play if you want. You then will untilt any tilted cards that you've previously used. So if this was tilted, I'd untilt it. You're then going to roll an attack. You are going to choose and target a monster. So say I want to attack this warrior goblin that attacked me. So he is going to have a 2 defense. I initially have a 3 attack. I can play cards from my hand, such as that, where did it go? The bowling bash, so I'll do that. When you roll for attack or defense, add an extra d4. So I will do my attack, and then he'll do his defense. So right now he's a 3. I'm at a 2, plus a 2 is 4. I'm going to look at my regular sword. I can re-roll a die twice when attacking with strength stats. So we'll tilt this to use it. So we'll re-roll the die, and so we re-rolled that die. There we go. And then if I really wanted to look for something else, I could look. So I have grit, which let me know, but I'll just be good here. So 2, 4, 6, minus 3. So if he was at that previous 5, he is now down to 2. All heroes have a chance to attack. After all heroes are done attacking, the combat is over. Any monsters that are remaining will flee and join the leader, the boss battle at the end of the round, and they will be at full health. But these tokens are now gone. So again, you can liberate up to 2 tiles. The other thing you can do is you can initiate a battle. So moving into a tile with monsters does nothing. However, when you move out, the monsters follow you, and thus triggering another battle phase. You can do that once per turn, per adventure phase. If you went to go do it again, if I moved into here and moved out, they would not move towards me, they would actually move towards the city. After everyone's doing their moves and their actions and so forth, that is when the boss battle begins. The boss battle will be the boss themselves, and then any monsters that fled and went to them. A boss battle works similarly to all the other battles. The monsters will go first and the hero. The difference is you'll keep going back and forth until all monsters are defeated. After the boss monster is defeated, or you are defeated by them, you're going to take this card and stick it under the tavern to the side that you've succeeded. So if you succeeded, you'll have the green showing. If you failed, you will have the red showing, thusly, which now has something else. So if you win, Monsters encountered has 1 less hit points. Monsters encountered had 2 less hit points. So that is an example of how that happens. Once that is done, you will move into the between round phases. What's going to happen in the between round phases is you're going to be able to upgrade your deck if you defeat the boss. 12 cards for a regular game, 24 for a blitz game. You are going to add 3 unliberated tiles of your choice to the map, but you can only look at the unliberated side. You cannot look at the other side. After that, you are then going to roll a d6 and the monster die, once per player. You're going to look, and every tile that has a 2 will get a bronze monster. So you're going to look at each individual tile. This has a 2, so that would get a bronze monster. This would have a bronze monster, so forth. If a tile ever has more than 4, then 50% rounded up are going to move towards the city. You're then going to look to see if there are any monsters surrounding the city. If they are, for each token, you do a damage. So this 20 would go down to 18 in this instance because there's 2. After that, and after everyone's added cards to their deck, they are going to shuffle up their deck, reconsolidate it with their discard, shuffle it up, and you have your new starting deck. If you're playing regular mode, you're going to do this 4 more times. If you're playing blitz mode, 1 more time. There is a leader token in the game that the leader gets to have final say if there is ever a discrepancy what people want to do. They also attack first in battle. It switches between rounds in a normal game and between each battle phase in a blitz round. So that is the very bare bones of this. Again, a lot of the strategy comes up with which leaders come up, which scenarios you choose, how you want to distribute the tiles, the different battles, and how you construct your deck. But I'll get into all that with my thoughts now. Alright, so there is a brief how to play of Terra Eterna. As I said, there is a lot more to explore in this game than what I just showed you. I just wanted to give you a bare bones of kind of how the different phases work, how combat works with the dice rolling, with the characters, because the depth of what you can do when you do your character building and the amount of characters is one of the things that excels in this game. You get a big stack of characters. You'll see me kind of scrolling through them right here. So you have tons of different characters to choose from. You have a ton of character classes that you can mix and match for that full-on character replayability. Like, all right, this time I'm going to play this person, but we're going to go more spell casting. Or we're going to go like a battle mage type of thing with some spell casting and some battling. You have the human prodigy that just has 3s and everything, but can be anything. So if you want to just test out different builds of different classes, grab them and mix the decks and see how that goes. The other thing that I find is really great with this game is that there are the 2 different modes. So you have the 2-round mode or the 5-round mode. So if you are wanting to just, jump down really quick between a couple of different games, you can. You can just set up, play the 2 of them, and go. Or if you are ready to make it your focus of the night, the meat on the bone for that night, then you can go over your 5 rounds. Have that slow character build. Having it, you're not getting as many cards, you're starting to experience more. Your map's getting much larger. Or like I said, the blitz mode where it's, fast, quick character progression. You're getting more cards. You're going to start with more cards, so you can just blitz through the game. You can just run through the monsters. You're getting super powerful, super quick, and just having that nice full end game feel in a much shorter time. The artwork really draws us in. It's very reminiscent of the JRPGs that I played as a kid, and they're still really popular and just really fun to kind of sit down and explore. That also has that big character development that is present in this game. The whole fact that you can choose how difficult do you want it from the get-go. Are you going to try and just go straight to some of these harder quests or bounties, or are you going to ease into it? Especially if you're playing that blitz mode, you kind of have to jump like right to the C's and then maybe the B's and A's because you still need to get a higher number of points, but you're only going to have 2 cards. So you're going to have to try and excel there. And with so much of the game being focused on these bounty cards and these mission cards, that just opens up a whole realm that they can explore in the future with this game. And as for that replayability, not just with the amount of characters and all the classes, just the amount of tiles that you get in this game means that it's going to be very rare, maybe not impossible, that any map's ever going to be exactly the same. So trying to manage where those dead ends are going to be and how you're going to get around stuff. And that quest might be to get here. Well, all right, well, what's our optimal movement? I have to discard cards. I have to do this to try and move faster or further. Really kind of pushes it to a whole new level of replayability as well, having the maps evolve like that. Being able to get the different artifacts, but in order to trigger the artifacts, you need to defeat monsters so you can pay the activation cost. So that way you get this powerful item, but to help mitigate that powerfulness, you do still have to fight the monsters. You're not going to be able to go through this game without fighting monsters. It's the main focus of the game. So in that regards, this is a big dice chucker. I mean, you're chucking dice constantly, especially if you end up not killing a lot of the monsters throughout the adventure phase. Then that boss battle phase, that is going to be a lot of rolling. I know the one game we did, we had the boss monster, and I think we had like 4 other monsters. So we were just constantly chucking dice down at each other. And speaking of the dice, I know this is a prototype copy, but if they are doing those itty-bitty dice with the 1s and 2s, that is just awesome. I don't know what it is about those little dice with the 1s and 2s on them. I really like the size. I really like the way they feel and roll, and I can just see eventually possibly getting like a big handful. Like I know there's some of the monsters in there that attack with like a 5, so just having 5 of those and you're just rolling them and you're seeing all these small little dice roll around is just a really cool feeling. So overall, Terra Eterna did seem very enjoyable for us. We do see that people can make this just a massive focus of their gaming time. Like, all right, this time I'm going to choose this character, and I'm going to be a swordsmith, and you be the spellcaster. And then now, I'm going to now bring some healer into me, and you just focus on spellcasting, just being able to build your characters together, and just try and have that role-playing game experience of the battle part. Because for role-playing games, that was the part I really loved. I just really loved the combat, the moving around, the throwing dice. So there's really not much moving around in the battle here, but you are moving around the map to trigger the battles. So even there you can kind of focus on the battles you kind of want, so you don't over-test yourself too much at the beginning. So Terra Eterna, if you're looking for that massive dice chucker, huge character involvement, just being able to tailor them how you want, then this would probably be a game you should check out and or pick up. So if this does interest you, look down below for the link to the campaign and follow it today.